VS bad, right? That's why, yeah.
And
if there is no offlaner in the pool, teams will ban Broodmother in the second phase.
If they don't first stage pick a offlaner, then it's. I mean, Phobos, I would say the best brood out there. Almost
you can't really first phase the brood anyway, so it's like it's kind of tricky.
I think you can if you have the last pick of first phase. You can definitely do it if you see it forces the game in a very specific direction. You already see a Beastmaster, and then you see who's going jungle, get a 1 and 2 lane.
We're gonna find out who is gonna have the first pick, and therefore last pick. Who? Gonna first pick.
Who
Let's
will
go.
win the draft?
Draft is ready.
Who?
Thanks,
Virtus.Pro versus EG, game number 2, and we are actually already 1 pick in. Look at that, bounty hunter removed by Virtus.Pro, who has first pick. So we are in the same scenario as last time. And may I inform you that this time the only difference is that Death Prophet still in the pool, while Batrider is removed. Aside of Evil Geniuses.
So the last game EG went for Prophet plus Beastmaster.
Yep, and Beastmaster.
5 seconds remaining.
The EG team will just do the same thing 2 games in a row. I feel like they often just go for a different strategy just so their opponents can't adjust. Like they sometimes.
Didn't Peter say he would not do that? He wouldn't do the same lineup like 2 games in a row.
I don't know if he said it, but I feel like I've seen them. I've seen them not like where
they have done that.
Where they could have gone to the same opening, but they chose not to. Like instead, they would go for like an Enigma here instead of the Beastmaster, or at least something a bit different. But we'll see. The Beastmaster is still possible.
Nature's Prophet for now. I mean, Vengeful Spirit and Nature's Prophet, super prioritized heroes that we've seen today. Not all the days. Nature's Prophet was actually ignored.
I think Prophet is super strong. Like some teams really underrate the heroes.
I was gonna say, why was he ignored for? I think it was yesterday or the day before. Teams just either
some teams don't actually think it's a high priority.
Or some teams know this hero is strong because like I feel like every series has its own meta. Like not every team can play every single topic well. So some series that certain heroes will be ignored, even though it's a really strong hero.
Well, we have the Nature's Prophet Lion coming out.
I like this opening more because it's much more flexible than you guys think. Like if you go for the Beastmaster, then it certainly locks down the fact that the Beastmaster is most likely going to be your support because they don't really run a mid Beastmaster on Sumail.
And they can replace Beastmaster with Enigma if they want to go for that greedy jungle. There's also like the Chen, the Enchantress there.
And the Prophet that they already have.
Yeah, they're less preferred junglers for EG, the Chen Enchantress, but it's always a possibility.
5 seconds remaining.
We had Virtus.Pro pick Batrider in this stage last game because Evil Genius just goes for the exact same path in the picks. Virtus.Pro, if you were to replace the Batrider, you want to pick up that DK Phobos hero now. Depends on if they want to do that or maybe throw a curveball at the end. What would you go for?
I'm kind of with Sin. Like second big brood, just go for it. His best hero.
Nah, you can't do that.
You can. It's Lion.
Yes, you can.
Lion is
you can, but
don't tell them what to do, Shiva. Of course you can.
There
pick
is
brood.
so
Let's
much
go.
potential to counter that hero, though.
No. The teams. Oh, listen. The teams that are really good with Broodmother, they can always 1-2 Broodmother because they can change their lanes. Okay. That is actually the biggest thing. Where you're able to run Broodmother in literally any lane.
Wasn't that like Vega during like ESL period last year? They just first face their brood. They don't care.
And the other thing is they have these brood players who know how to play the bad matchup. They can verse an Axe, they can verse a Tide, they can verse a Legion Banner and change their build and playstyle because they've played the hero so many times they know how to deal with those quote-unquote bad matchups.
Yeah, you know how many mids know how to deal with the mid Broodmother? They're like, oh, I'm playing Lina. All of a sudden a Broodmother shows up in their lane and they're just like fumbling. They're like, I don't know what to do.
It's a very, very difficult matchup for most of the popular mids, actually.
Especially Invoker. Good luck with that.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Well, it is an Enigma. So greed is on the table here for Virtus.Pro with the Beastmaster removed. Your Evil Geniuses, you know that Virtus.Pro is a bit more greedy than they were last game. You know you can't be as greedy with the Beastmaster as you were previous game. Are they gonna go super hard push and punish Virtus.Pro for that pick?
No, I think
that
VP.
Or Prophet jungle.
I think VP will actually go push. I'm betting on a Lycan here.
Lycan's good.
4 or 5 Lycan somewhere in there.
Chen, Enigma offlane.
Chen, Enigma.
Just put the
Enchantress Beastmaster.
Put the Enigma offlane. Play the Chen. Let's go push. That doesn't sound good, Cap. I don't think you should. That's a bad suggestion.
You're putting this on me all of a sudden. You're like, yeah, guys, Chen and Nick. No, that's terrible, Cap. Why would you say that?
Even the Juggernaut might also work. Like if you want to push with the healing ward, like
that's
a lot of options.
Good silent hero too.
How about a Jakiro core? Kappa.
10 seconds
Moon
remaining.
would have some interesting things to say about that.
One Meander sounded.
Let's be real. We're watching European team here. They're not going to do something so bad.
Wow.
No, North America.
I thought you're from North America.
Weird
Reserve
things.
time.
You're like an honorary American at this point.
They actually better like it themselves.
Evil geniuses.
It's
It
turn
might
to
actually
battle.
signal that they might want to go greedy themselves, so they
Damn
don't.
it, VP, come on.
They don't want EG to play like a fast-paced game.
But they
EG can play fast paced. They want to
They
do the
still
art.
have Chen.
Yeah.
Enchantress, if they
mean
want to
for
play
EG?
fast for EG, yeah,
Yeah.
for EG.
Seconds
I think the
remaining.
other thing EG can do that's really fast paced is do the safe lane prop and get something for Universe
5
in the off lane,
seconds
like a
remaining.
Void or something, and then just use RTZ playing a safe lane farming Prophet. Just
I mean, it's
Apply
least
pressure.
like,
Reserve
least
time.
likely though. Like if you do that, you are like under a lot of pressure of like you need to do
Yeah.
very well in early game because your Furion is safe lane.
I think FNG just like he messed up. He thought he was picking a hero instead of banning it. I'm sure that's the case.
Sure.
No, I just really thought that VP was gonna change up their strategy and
Okay.
play more
No
aggressive.
spider for you.
I thought EG might actually consider Brood for themselves in this draft, but just get rid of it, I guess.
We're super wrong, Cinderin. Good job.
No,
Let's list more
no,
heroes.
I felt like Brood was going to play a role no matter what, but then it was
Yeah.
about who picked it or banned it.
Maybe we should listen a little bit to that more to the other couch who seems to be more.
Ooh,
Correct.
that's why you ban Brood.
yes.
They have a plan.
Do
So,
you
Against
have
a
to
greedy jungle
pick-
enigma.
You can't.
so basically,
Are they gonna do Visage themselves?
Yeah, very
Quite
likely.
likely.
Yeah.
Quite likely.
Fear Visage. The thing is, it's almost certainly an offlane
10
nature's problem. I don't think they want to go
seconds
greedy with a jungle NP. It's just
I think
unnecessary.
Ooh.
VP might actually
5
pick
seconds
themselves and put
remaining.
Venger in core.
That's exactly what I wanted to say. I think that would be really
But
good.
then it's gonna be an off lane.
Reserve
Oh no,
time.
safe
I don't
jungle
think
lane bench.
EG mind too much. I don't get the Visage. I think the fourth pick may not even be Visage. They'd rather get something like the Puck for Sumail. Some whatever his kind of range
Wind
here to benefit
Ranger.
from Drone.
Even the Wind Ranger.
I think Puck's a lot stronger
Yeah.
than the Wind Ranger.
Yeah.
It's much.
Sure.
That's where I feel like they want to fourth pick the Puck because settling for Wind Ranger, it's like yeah, you got Wind Ranger, it's okay, but
Win rate.
But then you have a wind range.
yeah, then you go Wind Ranger.
What?
It's
It's
on
a
it.
new, but
It's
then you
not
have a
that
line.
bad.
I know.
It's not that bad.
Neither was Lion back then. Or
Lion was pretty bad back then.
Okay.
Honestly, he lost like all the games.
Yeah, thinking hard.
Yeah, this is a tough choice for them to take, and they were not expecting the Drow Rangers.
Or they can go for team fight, tied against it. When Drow is pushing, you have a lot of team fight to defend.
Titus actually.
That was what we saw when
That's just such a bad
we saw
lane matchup.
Drows-
Yeah, it's bad in the lane, but it's good for the purpose of the game. You know, like
And
if you
good
want to
for
defend.
defending high ground as
Yeah.
well. Just
But it's just, I think it's like one of the worst lane matchups for Titus playing
So you
against
get,
Drow.
you
It's,
get this Iron Talon item, and you go jungle.
yeah, we already have an Enigma, so it's like
you can have Tidehunter safe lane. We've seen it before.
Oh, versus MP and
now we're
aggro lane.
stretching.
Well, you do. Well, I guess you
I mean, the
aggro
gyro
lane
is like the
anyway.
same purpose. You want to have heroes that can team
Yeah.
fight, so you can defend the high,
I think
like
they're
the
still
push.
tied.
Yeah,
sure.
I still like the tie.
Just the big camp by the secret shot with Iron Talon's enough to get some levels of farm.
He's
Ellie
screaming.
giggle.
Virtus.Pro's turn to pick.
Just a boy.
Just a boy playing
Playing
Drow
Dota.
Ranger.
And there's a
There we
Visage.
Push is happening.
But FNG's over there
Now-
mimicking his logo. He's just like, not like this. I'm gonna lose to Drow Ranger Visage.
I think Shiva's suggestion is like impossible at this point. If you want to try to run an aggressive.
Thanks, Sin.
No, but come on. No, seriously, it wasn't to just throw you under the bus, but seriously,
It's fine.
I
you
hope
should
they do it.
you should
Just
consider
for
the
that.
option. You should consider the options for VP, right? Because right now it seems like they're looking for anything to do, right? But if you want to try to do an aggressive or a pseudo-aggressive trial lane against this, you're playing into
10
Drow line
seconds
Visage.
remaining.
Visage is an incredible try-on-try hero. You have a Nature's Prophet offlane who can join, so you're playing effectively with 3.5 versus 3. And in addition to that, the hero you would be laning with has to be Gyro up there, and he's short range against triple long, like long range. So
So-
this is almost impossible.
This is most likely their off lane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's team fight as well. Like you want to have heavy team fight against the push.
very similar to the type.
This is like
talking
it's
about.
similar to the type, but like what Sim mentioned, probably the consideration is Earthshaker you can fissure, you can
10
get
seconds
more out of the
remaining.
lane compared to Tide.
Less
which-
item dependent.
Yeah, you don't need the blink,
5
and you
seconds
just need to be
remaining.
able to fissure in the early stages when they're pushing.
And you can have an impact on that mid lane, which we still don't know what the matchup is, but we do know that Drow Ranger Aura is likely to play a problem for VP.
So what's G's hero gonna be?
Probably something. I feel like something. You just need something safe and safe. Like even like a Viper. It's like.
He
not
actually plays a
flashy,
really
but-
aggressive Viper later
he's
on as
probably
well.
going to be up against a Puck, right? Because they removed
I mean, they
Razor.
can ban. They have a ban left.
Ooh, what about a Death Prophet? We saw it first
I think
phase?
Death Prophet's too greedy.
What-
Too
what-
greedy? Okay.
You guys,
And two ulti your line. EG can just keep on pushing. Your Ranger Lamp is too fast paced for a Death Prop to fit in.
What was the last band you guys see?
I think it was Invoker.
Invoker was the last band?
Yeah.
Okay. So there is Puck, Wind Ranger, Viper.
I think Puck is perfect.
Yeah,
Yes.
because Puck with Visage is a really good combination.
I'm probably also the biggest Puck fan at this event out of anyone. I think Puck is good in like almost every game.
Yeah, it's really good versus their
It's so
heroes.
good
It's
in
like Bench, Earthshaker, like just Puck is like perfect here for them.
5 seconds.
But you need to make
remaining.
sure that you actually win your lane mid if you're G. If it is going to be a Puck with Straw Ranger or
Could get Queen of Pain.
TA wins the lane.
Quap loses to Puck with
Yeah.
Aura.
Yes,
in the lane.
but
TA
I
can
think
be
it's
the-
still like okay as far as the overall VP
It's
strat
like
goes.
40-60 in the
Tia
lane.
could do it.
I think TA can win the lane.
TA can still win against Aura.
get the
Actually,
blink,
it's all
challenge the
right.
Draw Ranger as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I guess I could see that, yeah.
They're taking out a lot of time though, so they're considering other options like Wind Ranger.
Maybe then it's like mapping out their early game strat, going
Yeah.
over what they want to
Use
do.
all the
Often
time
you
they
see
have.
a team use up all their reserve time, even if they know what they're going to pick.
Here comes
I don't know. Is this
Sumail
a strat
Tinker.
you really need to talk
5
about, though? It's
seconds
like,
remaining.
defensive tri-lane, we're gonna 5-man down.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Virtus.Pro
Did not expect that.
turn to pink.
Brewmaster? What the hell?
Okay, explain. Analysts.
It's still
Yeah,
the
come on, Cap. Why is that obvious?
I mean, it's still the same reason why they needed like it's like the Puck, but it's like you have much more control for like heroes like Enigma, and I think the other more important reason is you can go behind with the Storm aspect and you can remove the Venge before he swaps someone, so it's pretty good on that matter. And you have actually a tank
10
because if you look at their lineup,
remaining.
if they have Puck, Dodge Draw, Lion, Prophet, there's
5
no one
seconds
standing in front
remaining.
to be the mid shield, but with Brew, then you have someone to actually do that.
This is smart.
Yeah, this is really smart. If they get Veil Discord with
this is a really
Gyrocopter
good pick,
as well, got a lot of magic damage to defend high ground with.
They've got a fighting chance now. I was really worried for VP after the second phase.
They have
but
so much
I
burst.
think they salvaged it a bit here in the end.
They have so much burst right now, they can just like burst heroes very easily.
Are we gonna see game 3, gentlemen?
I hope so. Games are really good.
This is looking like the best series of the entire group stage we're going to get.
Better than
so-
LGD OG?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Was a good
Nothing
series.
is-
Yeah,
that was a
did
good
you-
series where it's like I bet this this series is to me is taking and we're just in game 2. That's
Yeah,
love
that's
the game
true.
3.
It's true.
I hope we get game 3, but I think again the draft I feel like is very both teams have a clear plan, a clear strategy about what they want to do. So it's really 50-50.
I
Everybody
don't
agrees?
think we'll see. But I think they recovered a bit.
Okay, well then, Cap, I will leave you to do the honors.
Very well. Thank you, Cheever. Game number 2. Virtus.Pro versus Evil Geniuses. Game 2.
And here we are. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. It's VP taking on EG. Best of 3 showdown. Big billing here, Ben. It is going to be, to quote Gods, the best series of the entire group stage. Then Cinderin, well, he just kind of gunned that idea down and said, no, it will be 2-0, but it's an okay draft. What do you think?
Well, firstly, fear not, because we have new microphones.
Now when they if they don't work, that's on you. So Caster's Curse, you've tried to jinx it, but I'm here to
I said
counter your jinx.
things change. It doesn't have to be better or for worse. You're just putting words in my mouth now, LT.
Yeah, you didn't say it'd be better, you just said they're different.
They are different. So,
We'll see.
see, an unusual drafting phase. VP stole the Enigma, not stole, they picked Enigma and EG. They're like, okay, let's heavy push into this. But they have Zeus, they have Gyro, they have ES, they have some good tower defense.
Beautiful fissure there, keeping EG away from the bottom bounty rune, but Artesia is going to grab the top one for free.
Oh, that's a lot of damage already.
They have some serious nuke potentials. PPD runs down in, just gets full of auto attacks off on G. Pesky little bugger that he is. Then he will end up backing away. So it's going to be the Brewmaster mid, and Artesia does end up leaving the bounty rune for Sumail. Nobody in sight from Virtus.Pro to contest it. And thank God the creeps was spawned, because now G can... Come on, man. He just won't stop with the Mario bouncing. Yeah, he's giving Atun a run for his money here on the Shadow Fiend. You know, sometimes I still have that...
Didn't
going
they
in my
like
head
make
every
that
other-
much quieter now?
I think he got the sounds nerfed.
That's impressive.
Oh, at least it wasn't fully deleted from the game. But if you do it enough, Valve will listen.
So looks like PPD will be assisting Universe on the bottom lane, and Fear will be playing greedily on the top lane. So this, Phobos is gonna have. This is stream as Earthshaker, you can actually come to lane without having a Fissure block constantly. He does not actually have any clarities, but Drow Visage, he can TP very early on if he so desires. RTZ doing his best to zone out, but without Frost Arrows, it is not that easy.
So he is getting his levels here early on. Phobos actually getting aggressive onto RTZ as
he picked up Frost Arrows. Whoa.
Seeing who played Drow earlier this tournament, someone else ran it and definitely went for the early Frost Arrow point just for the zoning potential. I think I usually see RTZ get 1 point when he plays it, but generally does not level it up. Do you expect to see him take more points, or
not more than 1?
Okay. There was a period where players were experimenting with like even the max Frost Arrows first, but considering the tools offlaners have to get experience from distance and from the side camp, it seems like that's just not worth it.
Yeah, you don't pick her for Frost Arrows. You pick her for Precision Aura and getting a lot of stats. But it looks like he actually has put 2 points into Frost Arrows, so this means they actually want to try and get kills on Phobos. Phobos has a TP scroll, so he's... I don't know.
Speaking of kills, they want to make a move here on G. They do have stick charges on Sumail, so he could have enough for a clap. But PPD is just going to waddle through the lane, rotate on towards top. He wants to help out the top rune, but Phobos is the man to grab it. Grabbing that illusion rune, and more importantly, perhaps denying it to Mr. Sumail, who wanted a bit of regen. G so far, staying even here relatively in the CS department. And the good news for VP is FNG uncontested in the jungle thus far. Has not really seen too much threat here from Peter.
He's also relatively close to the mid lane too, because they could easily make a dive with the Nature's Prophet TPing in, and if your Enigma's there to help, they'd probably get 1 if not 2 return kills, and that makes your life a lot easier. So
nice ward here that's keeping tabs on PPD as well. Gonna decide to head towards bottom. It'll be Lil pulling the lane back. Nature's Prophet though making the TP rotation onto G in the mid lane. Sumail's got the clap off. They're gonna need help and they're gonna need it quickly. Enigma's not too far. They might be able to turn this one around. They do get the kill, but Sumail's stunned under their tower. Likely to go down. Even pops the Fairy Fire. So some additional economic damage plus Universe Force F the bottom lane. They do get the first blood, but it comes at a cost.
Great reaction from VE though. Again, Enigma, you typically don't see them get involved with their team until level 6, and Lil with the early TP scroll and having enough mana to stun and wave, so they were very prepared for that.
Silent. Getting okay farm here in the bottom lane, 13 CS, but definitely not quite on the level of what the Drow Ranger has been able to accomplish. Or TZ in the lead there, 22 CS. EP. Definitely counting on the Enigma to come through here as we start to reach the 4-minute mark, getting close to that second rune spawn and also close to some key level 6s. He's still hiding out bottom, so we are seeing the full-on dual lane at this point. A little bit of pressure, at least attempted to deal with the Vengeful Spirit, but Lil getting his levels. And Phobos on the off lane, only level 3, so he is struggling a bit more than the enemy off lane for now. G slight edge there, but with the Enigma factor, it evens out for VP.
Yeah, I think things are gonna start getting hot pretty soon. Start getting hot and heated. Phobos doing a good job of interrupting Fear from playing super greedily. He's not gonna have a super early level 6, and he's able to deny a lot of creeps from RTZ.
They want to make a play here with the ultimate about to come online for Sumail. PPD smoked, he dropped a ward. It's on the low ground from FNG. And the Radiant team just saw him. I think he poked down for a second. The ping came out, or if they didn't see him, they definitely suspect him being in the neighborhood. Sumail was even posting up here. PPD's smoke attempt will be denied, so they don't get that easy Brewmaster level 6 initiation.
They still might. Nature's Prophet does have Sprout and Nature's Collarville.
He got dewarded though. Ooh. FNG. Sees the Lion poke his head down, and you know something's not right.
Still want to go for it though. They want to start the pressure as soon as possible, so that Enigma can't get his point push while making a team fight.
Look at this.
Very difficult to deal with.
RTZ even with the early point here in Gust as well. Not rushing that precision R max by any stretch.
Yeah, also not getting Wraithmans too. I wonder why he's getting
Dominator rush.
Yeah.
Don't you dare.
Dominator rush is generally when you don't have enough farm to go around, so you need someone to do Ancients, but it's not like anyone else can really do Ancients that effectively, maybe Nature's Prophet. So then you have Drow Ranger rotate to that area and then have someone else farm the lane, usually the Lion.
I guess maybe get his levels there.
The
PPD, his roaming has been constant, but the effectiveness has been pretty low, and I think they actually saw him walk up this hill. So they do have an observer ward down in the river. PPD trying to secure these runes. Phobos does have a fissure, but from behind comes Universe. They get off the stun. Universe with the completed phase boots will be more than enough damage to bring him down. It's an illusion rune grabbed now by Sumail. Is going to be rushing towards the blink here. 1,400 gold roughly saved up, and soon the blink Brewmaster split will be online.
Looks like Universe going to skip the creep wave, and this tower is almost certainly going to die unless FNG can do something about it. Let's see where the Earthshaker moves.
He's got Black Hole. Dire Squad, no vision. He's just a bit too far back, and Phobos is going to have the fissure ready. This would be a big kill in Universe. Arteezy comes in, gets off the gun, but the cooldown's there, and it will secure the Universe kill. He tries to save the day. Couldn't quite do it. This leaves Lil alone on the bottom lane, so he's going to get his levels this time. VP supports definitely getting a lot more farm priority than they did in game number 1 overall. Man, Sumail makes a move in, but he was scouted by the ward of FNG. They've got a Black Hole available. Can he get that Midnight Pulse down in time? Black Hole's ready, but he's not popping it yet, and Sumail is going to split. FNG walked right into it. The fissure to block him away. Earth Panda, can he get to him? Cyclone there, just trying to bide his time, wait out this fissure, and then turn, drops him down. The Black Hole's there, but it gets instantly canceled. The timing's not quite right as the boulder toss happens. Mid-Black Hole animation, EG move forward. They get the Enigma kill, but now Sumail's overextended. Doesn't have the blink just yet. He tries to go on the pallet, manning up on him. Then Zuso comes through and closes the door. Universe now coming into the meat grinder. It's a bloody mess here at the top lane, but it ends up being 2 for 2 in the end. With a lot of big ultimates expended.
Great fissure coming out. Earthshaker. He just had to sit there and wait out the entire fissure, which pretty much just wasted half of Brewmaster's ult duration right there. But great cancel on the Black Hole, kind of except for that. And at the end of the day, VP are not interested in giving any free power to EG. Zero. None. This is completely different from last game. It was like, okay, we'll just farm up with a safe laner. And they do have a safe laner that can kind of farm up equally. But with a Drow Ranger strat, you want to limit those towers as soon as possible.
You said zilch thus far. What's your least favorite 0?
I don't know. Name some. I'll let you know.
I might have to go look up synonyms. Zilch was all I had off the top of my head. Nada.
Nada's okay.
Nada's a good one. There's a StarCraft reference for you. Game.
Other languages are okay. Not a Spanish or nothing.
Is it?
Yeah. I don't know. they say they nada, and it's like
I studied French, man. That was let me tell you, that was a mistake. Mid lane though, Fear being chased out by G as the lightning bolt, and he does get the kill, but the familiar stuns are gonna trap G under the tower and result in his demise. So it's a big YOLO play there by the Zeus, and ends up being a lot of golden experience thrown back the other way.
So Enigma's farm has actually slowed down a lot. Normally you'll see a mech come out pretty soon for him, but he doesn't even have his headdress yet, and this is because he was forced to counteract the movements from Evil Geniuses. But at the end of the day, Evil Geniuses still not a T1 tower down.
Oh, they're rushing already. They're walking right into the pit. Radiant team didn't see much. They might have seen a couple of heroes like Fear moving down the river. And they do have a lot of big ultimates online, but they don't have the Black Hole crucially. And Benji actually feeling rather underfarmed here in the Enigma. 52 CS, but 2,300 net worth. EG, you mentioned no towers yet, but this is a fast rush. It won't be contested.
They're finding a small window where Brewmaster ult is up and Enigma ult is down, and
they're just jamming themselves in there.
Yeah.
Lil's got swapped. Do they want to go? Call down comes through in the river. It's a complete airball from Mr. Silent, and now EG are going to want to move, but they pump the Zeus ult to try and discourage the chase. Lil gets caught out on the high ground, and the Vengeful Spirit is going to swap herself in. Wants to die with a little bit of style. Well, we'll die. Not sure about the style points, though. That's for you to decide. The Universe looks for the Sprout. Oh, manages to catch G. The long-range Sprout there, just coming through. But the fissure blocked by DK Phobos, a godly one to keep PPD back, who still finagles his way through, gets the finger off, stuns him and kills him anyway. Well, it was a good effort. Not good enough. It began with a less than ideal call down, and it ends with a couple of additional VP heroes dead, and Silent, not to be deterred yet, is going to go in again. The fissure blocks DK Phobos. One-man savior? No. can't quite get the job done, but these Fissures, I gotta tell you, the only thing giving VP any hope of taking a fight is FNG holding onto the black hole here, waiting for them to clump up. He's looking to go. He does pull them in. PPD and Sumail. The ambush is set, and the long-haired man delivers. They swap Sumail back, and he gets off the clap, but DK Phobo slams him down with the Echo. Ends up salvaging what looked like a horrendous exchange for Virtus.Pro.
That was great initiation though by Nature's Prophet. He had a pretty difficult sprout because he was casting it from the high ground on a almost max range Zeus away, and then he used the Trinians to block so that Peter could actually come in with his stun, and without that the fight wouldn't start up. But at the end of the day, Enigma ulti used, Drow Ranger doesn't die, keeps up the farm, keeps the pumping pump for agility, and they're still down some towers. So this is good. This is the pace that EG wants, and forcing heroes to come and fight. They're forcing the Gyrocopter to come fight. The Earthshaker is not going to get a blink anytime soon because of the amount of fighting. Zeus working on his Aether Lens, but it has been slowed down.
Sumail, he's got his Blink Dagger now, lets it go on the south. The cooldown comes out. Sumail doesn't have the ultimate ready, but the familiar stuns follow this one up. Good swap there by Lil to keep Silent alive, and he also retreats, so nice disengage, but this is without the Brewmaster ultimate, which is going to be coming relatively soon. Arteezy, meanwhile, mid. Confident position here. G threatening to move in, but quite ready there with the Aether Lens.
So what is Arteezy doing with his HOD creep? See one on the map? He's not stacking Ancients, so I'm not exactly sure where it is. Generally he's scouting out around, but that's a good indicator of where they're looking to hit or out VP.
The latest one may have gotten killed off.
Yeah, I think in this case you might actually consider getting the magic resist creep to deal with the Zeus spam and the Earthshaker spam and call down.
Oh, the flanking tactics from EG. They're coming from behind. FNG doesn't have a black hole, but he is going to try to slow things down. There's the Fissure from Phobos. It locks Universe in position. They get the Nature's Prophet. It cost them an Enigma, and G now has access to the high ground where he might look to retreat. Is gone, but he's getting a lot of nukes out. Fear, stunned by Lil, almost finished off. One more auto tank would do it, but the Wind Panda comes in, saves the day. EG have managed to get the pulse around. There's no call down. There's no Echo Slam. There's no escape. 3 have fallen. Fissure ready. But the Brewmaster ult's still going. Maybe they can snipe Sumail on the way out. Do they have buybacks? They do on the Venge. They're thinking about a move in here. The cooldown's ready in 30. But with the Aegis still online, it's risky business to move in. Oh, Nature's Echo's ready. I might actually fight this. Ghost really wants to. Crouching in the trees.
If Sumail doesn't pop his regen, then yeah. Oh, there it goes.
Oh, now things get dicey here. Fissure comes out, but Sumail's on the right side of it this time, and Easy will claim the tower, accelerating his farm advantage. And speaking of advantage, all 3 cores for EG, they top the net worth chart now. Things are looking good.
Arteezy is really good about using his precision aura a lot too. They like rotate their cooldowns a lot too. They fight sometimes when Nature's Prophet's ultimate is up. When that's not up, they go with Brewmaster. If not, then they pressure with Drow Ranger. Like VP's constantly feeling threatened from all angles on that. Creeps being pushed in, little Brewlings coming in, Familiars flying in, and they're just scrambling to try and defend from this onslaught that EG is providing.
So looking at the way EG's itemizing here, there's already a Dominator on the Drow, and Sumail saving up quite a bit of gold. Are you thinking this might be a Midas Brewmaster? Are they looking for that extra bit of farm insurance?
Dire's middle tower has been
Looks like it, actually.
I haven't seen too many Midas Brewmasters.
Yeah, Sumail usually plays a scaling core though, and I think they said it was his 4th maybe game on Brewmaster. Not that he can't play it, it's just to fit that well into EG style, and if they had a Brewmaster last game, they would not have been able to scale nearly as well as like a Razor would, so I think he's trying to compensate for this by going more farm-intensive items because of the... Even like Midnight Pulse is good at defending the high ground.
I want to point out how much vision EG is getting right now. Excellent micro by Universe here. Sent 3 Trance on scouting missions through the Radiant Jungle. Some of them have recently died off, but it's allowing some aggressive positioning from PPD. He's able to farm the enemy woods, and just as importantly, it basically gives away the fact that all of VP are top or back in the base. So because of that EG, the map control advantage going their way, have nearly completed a blink on PPD, 2,000 gold and change there, and they are closing in on some big items. Midas now out on the Brew. Everybody on EG getting their farm.
Yeah, and again they have these 3 cores that are getting very, very farmed, and Fear is trying to get there, but he hasn't been involved in too many kills like Visages normally are.
FNG in a lot of trouble here. PPD's in position if he wants to make a move. They don't know quite what's behind FNG, so they're a little nervous about the rotation. There's a lot of AoE in VP. They're not going to opt to jump that.
15-minute Blink Dagger is really good for P. This was unusual from him. I think that I saw Universe lend him a couple of treants so that he could mute effectively.
Yeah, it also just gave him the vision, so he was safely farming. Yeah. Very nicely done. We'll see RTZ for now. He's gone back into the Yasha. So going full damage build here, and he has picked up the Frost Mage. Frost Ogre creep, I should say. Bit of extra armor for him.
Why the Frost Ogre though? It's an unusual one. They don't have that much physical damage.
We used to see this one back when Havost played Drow Ranger for the old Na'Vi. Oh, they might make a move here on top momentarily on the Universe. He would actually solo Roshan very early with that. Roshan's a lot tankier nowadays.
You need to get the blink on Shaker ASAP.
And mid, there's a smoke. Sumail moving in. Jumps onto Silent, gets off the clap. The immediate hex. The double blink special from EG. Silent. I don't think he liked that very much. He's dead nonetheless.
Yeah, they need the jump from Jaeger. It's going to be really difficult to get a good black hole because of the Visage Familiars too. So because of that, they have to have another tool of initiation, which would be the Shaker. And if he doesn't die, he should have his blink in just a couple of minutes.
So looking at VP, obviously they've got the huge team fight lineup. Is this where you just batten down the hatches and huddle in your base? What's the game plan?
They have to keep getting farm on their important heroes, mostly Gyro Cover. Gyro Cover is the most to have a lot of farm up. Good D-ward by G coming up from the mid lane. Of course, get the Blink Dagger on Earthshaker. After that, they need to make sure that Zeus and Gyro can get those items, do the damage in the team fights. It's okay for them to like trade 3 for 3, 4 for 4 because of the nature of Drow Ranger strategies, although RTZ seems to be able to have a longer lifeline for a Drow Ranger than most other Drow Ranger players. So, you know, maybe like 35, 40s when you start getting a little bit worried for each that the Drow Ranger might fall off.
Yeah, and the build he's gone for, definitely one of the better farming builds you can go on Drow Ranger, so yeah, it extends his relevance. Phobos top lane though might get caught out here. PPD's diving him, already used the blink. Universe gonna pop the jump charge. They're really committing for this Phobos kill, perhaps a bit too far. They've got to swap Aetherlands ready, and they're gonna swap him out. Now they get the stun onto PPD. Great counterplay here from Lil. The Fissure follows it up, but the Gust is there to prevent Lil's aggression. The bolt from Zeus will finish off PPD. And EG now in a headlong retreat, an angry mob of Virtus.Pro heroes storming down the lane. The RTZ buying the blink and gets out. Timing from it, but Earthshaker's going to blink. Still, Phobos can come in further, and they can dive deeper for this. Blink Fissure, I think he's in range for this one. He goes, he lets it fly into RTZ. The combos and counter blink 5 plays from VP. They pull it out, and they get 2. Oh, Shaker, not such an easy snack after all, eh?
Oh, that would have been so clutch had the EG gotten that, but VP were prepared for that. That blink is super important.
I don't think I've ever seen a counter blink purchase, but there's a first time for everything here at the Shanghai Major.
Radiant's middle tower.
Big kill there. And with that, Earthshaker has his key item now, so they've got their team fight initiation. Enigma FNG could start to build towards a blink or BKB of his own. Then if you're EG, you got to worry about this VP team fight as the game moves along.
Where'd he get a scepter?
I think he had the components on the courier.
Yeah, but he was really far behind in terms of net worth. He was like 3,000 last time I checked, and then all of a sudden, boom, he has scepter. I guess that's what happens when things are happening on opposite sides of the map, and it's like they are just parked outside Roche. No, it will respawn in the next minute and a half. They need that Drow Ranger, and they're going to play, it looks like similar style to last game. Continue to get Roche, continue to scale, and get some items, and eventually you'll be able to break VP.
It's also really impressive he's at farm because everybody on EG is farming, so it's not like they're giving the Visage much space. Universe up there with the Drow Ranger, RTZ's gone for an economy build, there's a Midas on Sumail, PPD's been aggressively farming and had a fast blink. Even the old man managing to keep up. So VP, still looking for those next items. Silence BKB, delayed, he is not...
Oh, they're waiting up top.
Easy's also hunting. He's got a Blink Dagger, he's gonna TP out. No Radiant Vision, he's just out of range. Oh, the fog ends right there.
That would have been a sick kill.
Easy's living a charmed life. At least this time. But right as EG smoke, the charming ends. Zeus ult, and immediately they know something's up. EG.
That's like disgustingly good game sense. If he dies right there, VP maybe have a chance to contest Roche. He might not even have to pop Black Hole for that because Dry Ranger only has 1100 HP at this point. But because of this, that like extends the timer of the Dry Ranger strat by, I would say, like a good 3 to 4 minutes just by that one play alone.
Yeah, you kill the Drow, the Roshan's a lot slower. EG probably don't feel too go for it.
Yeah, and the T2 would get put on top. Like there's a lot of implications of that failed gank.
Oh, an implication of it here for EG is they're gonna look to push. They rotate in the bottom lane, and you'll be happy to know they do have the cloak armor up. So
oh, they do?
Yeah, they've grabbed themselves a Centaur Courser. 20% magic resistance on the creeps, 5% on the heroes, and they're gonna try to crack this base open nice and early. G wasting no time and going for objectives here. Arteezy up in front, and an army of Treants as well as familiars descend on the base. The other lanes are pushing out a bit though for VP.
That's why you pop Precision Arson.
G, maybe we'll see them back up, but not yet. Silent holding the call down. Decent spread here from EG. Sumail warming through the trees, and he's gonna go. He engages onto Silent. He's trapped in the trees. The echo from DK Phobos is gonna catch on Arteezy as he blinks forward. He got caught out. They didn't get up the Brewmaster's foot, and now they're gonna have to sack Arteezy. They massacre the Drow Ranger. A catastrophic mistake from EG, and they smoke just to get in a bit closer. They're hunting onto Fear. VP have found their opening. Fear into the trees, but it's also back towards VP who get in range with the Zeus ult. They got the vision. They get a third kill. One of the most disastrous base sieges I have ever seen from a normally very disciplined EG. Thoroughly punished by VP. And they're maybe not even fully done yet. Do they have any protection here for PPD? He wants Phobos, he's got familiars. Can he get out? He blinks down to the river. And he will get a freebie. So, something for EG, but that is not the tier 3 and racks they were looking for.
Yeah, a grave mistake, as you mentioned, could have been prevented with precautions. Firstly, getting a BKB before you see high ground, but that's kind of what happens when you go for a Midas. You won't have the BKB until later, but it should pay off maybe later in the game. But I think more importantly, the Visage Birds weren't on the Shaker. You generally always want eyes on the Shaker, and yeah, maybe he can fissure, but he won't be able to stun lock you until death. So that's, I think he was maybe trying to siege a tower with the birds, but you want to put him on Shakers. He can't blink, he can't get the echo, and you'll eventually get enough tower damage on the T3 that they're forced to make a move. But they weren't patient.
I think they needed to go in, like with the Brew, or should they have just sat back and sieged?
He saw a good opportunity. They were taking a lot of damage, even with the Centaur Courser. The creep wave got annihilated.
It's a Zeus with an Aether Lens. Yeah. It's a lot of magic damage.
The potentially a swapped in or a blink echo into a hole from the Enigma. So they
see Phobos, mate. They're gonna blink in, stun him. The familiars are there. Phobos. Well, EG will let out some rage on him, and he won't live through it. Ouch. That ward mid paying off. It may lead to a tier 2 here as well.
Yeah, they wanted to make a timing. It was a decent time.
The good news for VP is they still have their Black Hole. Didn't have to use it there. The Echoed Slam is ready, and looks like Shaker should be uptime. So EG gonna play it safe. Velocity Aegis, they'll back off, they'll farm the enemy jungle. And it looks like they'll slow things down a bit.
It looks like MKB will be the next item of choice for the Gyrocopter. Zeus has Blink Dagger, and what is Enigma going for? Still unknown.
Holding his gold.
Yeah, I would just say BKB because there's no way they can stop his ultimate unless they right click him to death. And I think they just, I don't know, waiting for the Gyro to outscale the Drow is going to be very tough. Because of the other cores. Like Shaker only does so much compared to like a Nature's Prophet, especially because he already has a Maelstrom. Very similar build from the prior game.
Silent still pretty light on the damage as well to deal with those familiars, but once he gets the MKB, should have an easier time of it. A flock of them hanging out here atop the Radiant Hill, and it is a blink, so the more aggressive choice from FNG. A lot of faith in waiting and biding his time for that big ultimate.
It seems like even if he only gets like a 1 second hold on 3 heroes, let's say it gets just cancelled by a Drow Gust or a Familiar, I think it'll be enough.
That's another round of spells from the Zeus, probably.
And Gyrocopter ultimate and flag and all these nasty things that they can dump into a very short. But that depends on how well EG can siege a high ground. If it's only one hero doing it, like you definitely don't want to blink hold that. I think with the Zeus, they'll have enough hold for that.
Scary thing that I see for VP right now is that Universe is farming like a champ, which means a very fast test with familiars and with 2 blink initiators, so you really can't go off on your own for much longer.
However, they do have Sumail, who is a brute. So even if he gets like, you know, Blink Vlad's AC, Scepter, or
he's
whatever.
Still a brute.
Yeah, he's still a brute. So he can only do so much.
Yeah, and that's why the MKB is such a good choice here. You've got the Brewmaster Evasion to worry about, the Drunken Haze, and this is Gyro. I think that's why we see Silent rushing it here, where you might go for something like a Butterfly otherwise to go with some of this physical damage.
Yeah, generally you'll see the MKB like after the BKB starts wearing off, or else it's just a lot of redundancy. It's not like he has a Scepter yet, so he can still kill the Bruising here very easily. I think you want to dump out as much damage as possible, like during the Echo, during the Black Hole, which I think Butterfly might have been a more suitable choice, but I guess he's just thinking long term. He's going to need an MKB anyways later, so why not just get it now?
Still, you see them generally moving as a squad. 2, 3 heroes closely knit together. EG, more of a spread offense. Sumail off farming the Radiant Woods. APD back in his own jungle and holding the mid lane Universe. They've got the vision advantage here, and they're definitely more confident in terms of map control. So VP are kind of letting the fight come to them, but G not providing it just yet. But as I say that, VP look to change the formula. They smoke. So they want to find something around the Roshan pit. They blink in, they're going to find the jump on Arteezy in the mid lane. That's the Drow Ranger, a big pickoff. Easy with buyback available. Didn't see that one coming. Immediately Universe will scramble the split push. He'll head towards the bottom lane and be PPD with the double damage rune on the line and some familiars heading up towards top. So G will try to draw Virtus.Pro back. We'll see if they cooperate.
KB has been picked out by Brewmaster to mess with his initiation, and even like Zeusol can ruin his jump timing.
PPD hiding in the trees here. Silence coming in, and meanwhile the Radiant Courier does get sniped, but keeping eyes on that lion. He's hidden in the trees. Looks like they're not going to find him. They're also moving towards Fear, dangerously close. They even blink forward with FNG. The blink Enigma initiations from this Malphite is a bit impressive, but he could be in a bit of trouble here. The familiars are in position. They're going to get a triple stun on Fear low, though. He turns with the Soul Stone. Sumail arrives. He will pop the Brewmaster split. There's a Black Hole available, but it's too late. FNG will just have to accept his fate. He ends up going down. Easy about to respawn, and they're hunting for a bit more. DK Phobos with the pushback, trying to get that Blink Dagger cooldown. 1 second. Is he going to get up? Just barely able to jump down to the low ground.
Wow.
And will avoid that second casualty from the Brew split.
That was a miss, Mike. His Fire Panda just stopped and got fogged. If he
didn't get the immolation off,
yeah, that would have stopped blinking.
But they're still chasing. University TP's in, but it's into Lil, who's got the stun ready. Turns on him. The mech comes through. They can't finish up. University worms his way past the Mitcher. Now Phobos gonna be next, and they end up losing to PPD with an emphatic finger to ensure that no man survives.
You know, PPD's TP actually got canceled by the Venge swap, and that's why it took so long for them to react. Top it was Enigma plus the Shaker, and then the other 3 were actually chasing Peter a very, very long time. So he probably thought they were getting more reinforcements on top. Enigma was like, okay, if I hold, there will be people here, but there was actually no one there to help him out.
And there's your Solar Crest now. EG, after all of these back and forth exchanges, they continue to grow their lead. Now up to about a 14,000 gold lead, 12,000 experience. Still feels like they're well within their timing window, but the Black Hole from FNG comes in. A sudden surprise burst the backup. They need more nuke damage through this. The Zeus will manage to finish up the line. That Aetherland's getting the job done. A very unexpected jump. EG, they weren't ready for that. Caught with their pants down. And G will spank them, getting 3 kills in the end. Oh, VP, just when you think that they're about to forfeit some objectives, they come rushing in. That's a 4,400 gold swing, a 5,600 change of experience, an MKB for the Gyro, a BKB likely well underway for FNG, an Octarine complete on G. Pain for EG.
VP's just been doing an excellent job though on their defenses. First the Echo by Phobos, now the Blink Hole by Enigma when the familiar stuns were on cooldown. Like this is extremely difficult for EG to end in the timing window that you would want to with the Brew and Drow as your mid and safe lane. So they're gonna have to start thinking long term, but they've already prepared. Nature's Prophet converting into the late game build, Visage with his Scepter and Solar Crest. They have farm on pretty much four cores now.
That Hex is very close, and it feels like those pickoffs will be important for EG. You just see VP, even from a huge deficit, overwhelming team fight, and that wasn't the full 5-man either.
But Lil has been on point with it, saving a lot of lives.
And he's going to get a 4-staff here soon, so incredible range, reach from the bench. Sumail is showing himself mid, PPD's behind him, the whole EG gang in the neighborhood. See what Arteezy's next item is going to be here.
BKB.
BKB as well, so Sumail Boots of Travel coming, Fear, working on a likely AC.
Ooh, did they smoke underneath the ward?
No, I think they were all out of vision.
It was really close to that.
Doesn't look like VP know what's coming, but the positioning's not too bad. If they can just get a BKB off on Silent quickly, he might be able to turn this one. No, they have to get off the Hex, and they will finish him off. Now Lil's in trouble, run down by Familiars, and they look for more. The Sprout trying to give them a bit of flying vision. The Gyrocopter with no buyback available. EG, they've got creeps coming in bottom. This might be a lane of Rax, but they don't know that Gyro has no buyback. They may suspect it after having seen the FKB, but they don't know for sure. Black Hole 45 seconds on cooldown. It comes down to the Echo here. Can they keep eyes on DK Phobos? They don't right now have any vision, but they brought down the tier 3 tower, and EG starting to work on this first lane of Rax. Gyro up in 30. Very dangerous for EG. They gotta beware of the big combo. Arteezy's BKB on cooldown. They're gonna blink with Sumail. He pops his own BKB, goes right onto G. He doesn't have his ultimate, but he's trying to force them back and just secure a safe objective. Even if they lose the brew, it's worth it for a lane of Rax. FNG caught up by a stun from PPD, doesn't have a finger. They're gonna fissure him. He's actually on the wrong side of it. They commit an Echo just for the Lion to get that kill, but Arteezy absolutely fine, will waltz away. So EG showing some poise here, come right back for their first melee Rax.
A couple of things with that smoking. It was such a weird angle for the Drow Ranger to attack. Normally, your finger's on the BKB button, especially when your whole team's around you. You expect a movement. You don't see anyone on the map. But he probably got thrown off by that arrow. Did you see the direction the arrow came from? It was like downhill, like on the same ground, like on the side of the trees. He's probably like wondering what is going on, and then before he knows, he gets tagged.
Oh, EG, they're in the pit. Phobos is coming in. They've got a cooldown ready. The Aegis is sniped by the Drow. The last hit I think might have been from the wave of terror of Will. And they're gonna look to fight this energy there with the Black Hole. He's pulled in fear. PPD, he does have a stun. He lets it go now. Can they turn the fight? Arteezy going to work on him from range. PPD finished off in the pit and Silent now, grabbing whatever he can, picks up the bottle of Sumail. But it looks like he may drop. They stun Arteezy. They try to focus him down. The Fissure finishes the job, but he's got the Aegis. There's a double buyback, and they're coming right back looking for round 2. Lil will fall, and Arteezy now on the hunt. The rest of VP have made it out. A triple for Arteezy, but they spent 3 buybacks there. And in the end, VP, they come out on top as far as gold goes.
Because the last hit, no, maybe it was like the last hit of the call down, but whatever happened right there, that was crazy that VP actually managed to get that.
And don't forget about that devastating bottle grab. I think it's in their base now. Gee, maybe he scoops that one up. But BG, more importantly, they know some ultimates are down, and they're looking to end this game right now. Take that second lane of Rax, the tier 3 under siege. There's no Echo Slam available for 25, no Black Hole for 120. VP, they need a good swamp initiation, something to get this party started. DK Phobos with the mini blink back, but it's already too late. The melee Rax is down. EG showing that killer instinct straight onto the top lane. VP trying to make their stand. Sumail's just toying with him. He has the Fissure to prevent the cheese pop, so it costs him his life, but it also drags them very far away. Arteezy trapped within the middle of the enemy team, but he's just standing his ground, going to work with the BKB. It's all for the Rax, and they're gonna get it too. The melee's down. Everyone dropping low. EG are throwing bodies at this thing. 4 dead and 5 Rax as well. Just 1 solitary ranged Rax is all that stands between EG and the Mega Creeps.
The second time that has done that. He's just been up in their face. Their blinkers cannot blink in. They cannot smoke to try and get a jump on EG. They're doing such a good job of protecting the Drow Ranger and making sure they do significant structural damage each and every one of these pushes. And Silent, unfortunately, has not had buyback for these past couple of fights, and they are.
Imagine if he pops the cheese there.
Yeah,
super
if he pops the cheese, then they actually mega right there. So that. I think he was at like 80% when he had the opportunity to do it, but he got stun locked down. But
the worst part right now, if you're VP, is you're up against a Drow Ranger, Prophet, and Visage. So you pretty much know that they're going to get that range Rax.
Yeah, there's already creep base.
Are you all in? Do you just all in down mid? Are you throning it? Like, what's the play here if you're VP?
Well, Drought is up in 10. Where are the birds? The birds I think are dead. I think they have to wait for the bird respawn to giant defend. I think you just concede one Rex and you're like, okay, whatever. They only have one range Rex, but it's not even going to heal up. That's the bad part.
Drow Ranger BOTs. Here comes Sumail. He's got the split ready. He pops the BKB, zoning the back end. He'll even take out his rage here on the range creep. But meanwhile, in the radiant base, Arteezy on the move, heading straight for the rage Rex. TP home, gentlemen. VP. How many teleports do they have right now? They've got one on Phobos, one on Lil. Not popping them in. Well, they do, but it's too late because all elsewhere, FNG's been Fidger trapped in. Phobos trying to engage, goes on to PPD. Arteezy heading right back down that top lane. They've already got the mega creeps. Creeps starting to hit the tier 4s. They're losing their Enigma. G also in trouble. Fissure will finish him off. EG are really overcommitting for this one. 3 are down, and it's going to be up to Arteezy and Creeps to take something bigger. Well, they have slowed them down. VP, do they make the walk of shame back to their base, or do they all in down mid? It's a tough choice. They've got the Zeus here, holding things at bay. Arteezy just looking for openings, trying to cut waves, trying to slow them down. Now ratting his way towards the base is Sumail as well. Cheese available, can pass it to Arteezy if need be. It's G against Arteezy. Goes in first. Going down mid. This is getting a little intense. VP, which way do they want to go? Seems they're committed. They're sticking around mid. And G, him against the world. Brewmaster starting to work on the tower. Enigma buys back everything on this fight. VP, they need to hold. They blink in with the Enigma. He summons a couple of Eidolons, and they're going for the throne. VP are committing for it, and then they think twice, and then they back off. They can't make up their minds. They see the TPs coming. They want to retreat, and Arteezy wants to punish. Back and forth. Throne getting swarmed. VP just don't know what to do here, and oh, this could be bad. Arteezy committing onto Phobos. There's the swap from Lil. Pulls him back to safety.
Whew. Whew. That's what you call eyes on a prize from EG. That whole team was defense. Yeah, tense indeed.
Tense.
They didn't have a TP on the gyrocopter, so they were kind of forced to hang around that area, and you know, it's not great. You're like, okay, well, do I get Rax or do I just defend Mega Creep? But they are not strong enough. It's definitely rapier time. You cannot not get a rapier.
Deeps. He's actually not that far off. One good fight, he'll probably have it. Beware and Lackey buyback. They Zeus and they have found Universe. The rat's been discovered, and he will be essentially solo killed. The last hit is going to go to Phobos. Has the Shadow Blade now, so he's elevating his status into Exterminator mode. But the creeps, they keep marching in. Top, middle, bottom. And it seems EG, they might just resettle here. They know a win, and they're on into the top 8, into the upper bracket here at the Shanghai Major. No rush if they want to take it slower.
Now begin the preparation. Mega Creeps. Lad's already complete on Vengeful Spirits.
By the way, somehow G suddenly has a Hex after all that. He's at the actor read, but...
Dude, they lost a lot of network.
10, 4, and 16 after a pretty rough start mid.
I think they killed all their cores like twice in the past like 5-10 minutes. But
it's one of those weird situations where, yes, they got Mega Creeps, but at the same time, I think EG understand the game is not over by any means. You look at the gold, the net worth discrepancy, it's basically even. VP have the far superior team fight. They've got to be careful about how they approach this.
Anything's possible with Rapier.
Including total disaster.
Including total disaster, yes.
Anything that is not necessarily good. We'll see.
I think they need Lotus Orb though for the 2 hexes. But even then he needs Butterfly so he doesn't get bowed down by the Visage from the... Like, Rapier is the first step. Rapier's first step of like a 3-step process.
Step 3.
Butterfly. So you need Butterfly, you need Lotus Orb, and you need Rapier. They are one third of the way there, I would say, to actually being able to mount a reasonable defense. Actually, they have Black. Actually, they have BKB Black Hole on Enigma. That's pretty darn good.
Oh, the late Aghanim Scepter from Sumail. 40 minutes in, it's gonna grab it. But honestly, just being able to stall for longer is perhaps all EG needs. That extra so much time. That extra Cyclone could make all the difference.
A little bit of evasion, a little bit of Drunken Haze, a little bit of clap here and there.
Hey, he's underage, okay? Nobody's ever said he couldn't ply his opponents with the booze.
You can throw it at people, you just can't drink.
Alright, here we go. Brewmaster's kind of a jerk. Just throwing bottles at people all over the place.
Isn't he giving them to them so they can drink too?
Yeah, but then they break on the people. Like they're doused in alcohol. It's not nice.
Yeah.
But it is effective. Blinds you instantly.
Just need some fire too.
Hmm. And now we're getting a little violent for my liking then. Oh, Phobos! He's found PPD. There's the Echo Fissure and done. In the pickoffs, not forfeiting structures, and we saw one other situation where a throne was almost entirely exposed. But both tier 4s were gone in that game. So VP, they still hold on to some semblance of an outer buffer for now.
At some point though, they'll start throwing like the water brewing, the fire brewing, as well as the
treants,
the Visage familiars, the treants. Yeah, like they still have a lot to battle
like
through.
Ultra late game, you could even get your your Visage refresher potentially, so you can get that extra round of familiars out.
Yeah, Manta Styles, Necro Books, like all the good stuff. So
it's okay. Gyro's just gonna stand there like the impenetrable tower defense and just mow everything down.
Not Visage familiars, they still take the same amount of hits.
It's true. That's where he needs the butterfly.
Yeah. I think doesn't need butterfly though. So still EG, they need to do some structural damage though. I pretty much would suggest like I think he's casting precision aura on cooldown. Just to make sure the lanes are pushing as deep as possible. It's not like you're really relying on their creeps to anyways. Aegis Prophet has Blink Dagger, so he can be cheeky, although Zeus ult sees all.
And with the Octarine, he is not afraid to spam that thing. Vision up as much as possible. Familiars, meanwhile.
Look at the way Phobos is playing, though. He is everywhere, just daring people to split push out on his lonesome.
Well, with the Zeus, the kill potential is massive here. Yeah. Universe is actually an easy solo kill. PPD, if he gets the jump on him, is a kill. Arteezy, borderline, I would say. But he doesn't have the butterfly yet, so you're guaranteed that enchant totem hit. EG are gonna grab another Roshan. This is some free bodies to throw at that throne. Still a glyph available. One tier 4, very low. One alive.
So now they need a split push on. Gyro can only defend, I think, 2 out of 3, probably, and he probably spend some resources, like ultimates, I would say, just to take down at least that bottom T4. That one has 64 HP. That one should not be alive for very, very long.
AG are looking to end that now. They've got double cheese. They have an Aegis. The buybacks are aplenty, and the creeps are marching in.
You have to siege from like all angles, though. If you go from one angle, you'll just get fear blocked out, or Zeus spammed out, or black hole, or whatever it may be.
Or FNG will just kill your entire team with a 4-man black hole.
Yeah, so you have to be very careful about making sure that you siege from all angles, including with summons. So treants in the mid. I don't see anything in the bottom lane, but Universe can easily TP there, and most of the heroes are on top.
And they got mega melee creeps here. They're on the case. Is there a point where VP actually are going to feel like they can push out? Like, if Silent is 7 slotted, is that the time, or is it just all about EG's mistakes?
You need the Lotus Orb and the Butterfly, I would say. 'Cause the risk of him just dying in a Hex is way too strong right now. You also, I think, want him to tan it, so he can BKB and Leech up after the Lotus Orb, because they're going to try and focus in Hexes. So there's still a long way to go. Unless, of course, VP get like a 2-man Echo on people, and then they can maybe push out a little bit, get some buybacks and pressure from there. But with the way that EG is playing with their Observer wards and staying pretty close, gem up on PPD and Aegis, that's more unlikely to happen. So for VP, you have to plan on EG not making mistakes and play for the long game, maybe even another Rapier.
Well, this is already looking like it could be a grueling one.
You don't need boots.
You're not leaving that face, buddy. Don't worry about it. But
I'm actually surprised they haven't actually thrown summons on this bottom tower.
Double damage.
the gold is still very useful for VP, but ultimately you get the tier 4 and they're feeling a lot more exposed. They've got less damage to push these waves out.
I guess they want to make one big consider after though. Oh, there we go.
Here we go. Commitment. Now they're going to jump on the side. They do finish up the Dark Hawk and they ambush them at the base. EG's from their trap. They have Black Hole to turn it around. Gyro has no buyback though. They need more damage. It's up to G to get the job done. Artesia's fallen. He's going to buy back instantly. Phobos gets herded back into the well and the Brewmaster's split. Working its magic glue. Stunned and controlled. There's the Shiva's got the Enigma and it just goes splat. They have brought down the tier 4. VP hold. They hold for now. The Sprout coming through from Universe. He's still got an Aegis ready. Fissures there on Fear, but he stands his ground. The throne exposed. Glenn's still there. Don't forget to use the VP. You're not entirely out of this yet. Oh, maybe they are. 3 down. Buyback coming out now from the Zeus. Phobos dead as well. FNG backing off the throne. Low, still no Cliff. If there was ever a time, it's gotta be now, but it seems it may be too little, too late. FNG holding to serve in the pit, in the throne. Not gonna matter. Throne dead. EG pulls through. A valiant effort. The glyph comes out. One last moment of defiance, but they just caught them off guard at the fountain of all places.
Did he even get a hit anyone with 3?
He just died. Nobody ever expects the fountain smoke gank. Killer instinct.
Easy, well played. Nicely executed driving just right, and I think the Brewmaster pick definitely caught VP off guard.
Well, EG pulled through. Favorites come into this group, and well, to see if VP are gonna have a good shot.